Hey guys, it's Cy. It's Sunday, June 15th, 2025. Today we're going to talk about the Minnesota assassinations and what they don't want you to know. When a government board appointee executes a hit list targeting politicians who control his funding, that's not a lone wolf attack, that's an institutional failure. This is the story of Vance Luther Bolter and the Minnesota lawmaker assassinations. If you think this was random violence, you haven't been paying attention to the pattern. June 14, 2025, Democratic State Rep Melissa Hortman and her husband are executed in their home. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were shot, but they survive. The suspect? Vance Luther Bolter, a 57-year-old evangelical minister and security company owner. But here's what the headlines won't tell you. Bolter served on Minnesota's Governor's Workforce Development Board alongside victim John Hoffman for years. These weren't strangers. They sat in the same meetings and advised on the same policies. Hortman, as House Speaker, controlled budget appropriations that could affect workforce development funding. She had direct influence over the programs Bolter's board advised on. When Bolter's board term expired in January 2023 without renewal, his African business ventures collapsed, and his security company failed to get traction. The man who once had insider access to state policy was suddenly on the outside, financially desperate. Now here's where the patterns start to line up. Bolter didn't just own a security company. He owned the perfect cover operation. Praetorian Guard Security Services advertised police-type vehicles and tactical equipment. His wife was officially the president, but he was the director of security patrols. This gave him legitimate access to everything he needed for the attack: police uniforms, emergency vehicles, tactical gear. The operational sophistication shows planning, not impulse. Multiple vehicles strategically positioned across the Twin Cities, professional-grade police impersonation, and a target list of 70 Democratic politicians and abortion providers. This wasn't a breakdown. This was a methodical execution. But here's what should terrify you about the religious angle. Bolter was an ordained evangelical minister since 1993. He preached in the Democratic Republic of Congo, ranting about Americans who don't know what sex they are because the enemy has gotten into their soul. He supported Alliance Defending Freedom, the Christian nationalist legal organization behind Project 2025's anti-abortion and anti-LGBTQ agenda. His Facebook showed connections to evangelical missionary organizations and Pentecostal networks spanning multiple countries. This wasn't isolation. This was ideological reinforcement through international religious networks. Now here's the pattern that's being ignored. Bolter held a doctorate and served on government boards. His security industry access provided operational capabilities. Evangelical networks provided ideological justification, and direct government connections gave him insider knowledge of targets. When someone with legitimate institutional access develops grievances against the very system that appointed him, they become the most dangerous type of domestic terrorist. The lone wolf narrative is convenient because it avoids uncomfortable questions about how our institutions create these threats. But when a government appointee executes the politicians who control his opportunities using professional resources and religious justification, that's not mental illness. That's systematic radicalization within our own power structures. The question isn't why Vance Bolter snapped. The question is how many more are sitting in government meetings right now, building the same grievances with the same access, waiting for the same trigger. I have a distinct feeling this story isn't over. You guys have a good day.